This is the pumpkin cubes from the other day that I did not use. Since my husband has decided he's not a fan of savory pumpkin, we're gonna do another sweet recipe. But first I need to turn this into pumpkin puree. And so I'm gonna do a method. I'm gonna do the boil method. So I'm just gonna stick this in a pot of water, cover it, and boil it until it's tender, kind of like how you would make mashed potatoes out of royal potatoes. And then I'm gonna do a pumpkin dump cake, and I will have the recipe linked down below. All right, slight change of plans. I'm doing a different recipe. There's like 50 dump cake recipes. So the reason I'm switching is this original recipe, I think was like allrecipes.com. It calls for a 130 ounce can, which that would be 3.75 cups of pumpkin puree. A regular can of pumpkin puree is like 15 ounces. I didn't even know they made a 30 ounce. I asked my husband and he said, yeah, he knows he's seen huge cans of pumpkin puree. So that's not what I got. And then evaporated milk. I don't have a 16 ounce can of evaporated milk. Mine's only 12 ounces. And I do have all these other ingredients, but I chose this one. This one, it says 1 15 ounce can. That's a typical can of pumpkin puree. The evaporated milk, that's 10 ounces. So I'm not gonna use all my evaporated milk, but it's a little less ingredients and I have them all. So pecans, I even have pecans. I keep them in my freezer. So, yep, we're going with this one from cookiesandcups.com. But again, I will link it down below. There's nothing wrong with this bigger recipe. The reason I'm not doing it is because I know what pumpkin I have left is not gonna be 3.75 cups. And I don't wanna like process another pumpkin. I still have 3 pumpkins left, but I don't feel like processing it. So, but I know that I have 15 ounces worth of pumpkin puree. So that's why I want to do this recipe. And I do have the yellow cake mix. There's another thing you need to watch out for. Cake mixes is shrinkflation. This 15.25 ounces is a normal cake mix. This is Pillsbury. Betty Crocker has done shrinkflation. Their cake mixes are only 13.25 ounces now. And that can change the recipe. And so I'm sticking with Pillsbury, so make sure you check your ounces if you're using a store-bought cake. At this point, it might be just easier with the shrinkflation to just do cake mix by scratch, make your own cake by scratch, because I don't know that it's a savings anymore when it's not going to turn out right because it's not the ounces that you're used to working with. I got the pumpkin boiling, so just cover with water and boil until it's tender. I think it's, I don't know, maybe 20 minutes. All right, here is the pumpkin. You see how the fork just goes in nice and easy. So once it cools down for about 20 minutes, I'm gonna puree it with my hand mixer. I wanna let it cool down because my cake recipe does require 3 eggs. And if you put hot mixed stuff with eggs, you run the chance of cooking your eggs, and I don't want scrambled eggs in my cake recipe. So yes, we want this pumpkin puree to be cooled. Here is my pumpkin puree. So the first step is to combine the pumpkin puree, evaporated milk, sugar, eggs, and pumpkin pie spice. Stir to combine and pour into your prepared pan, which is a 9x13 baking pan. So let me get all that mixed together. Here's all the wet ingredients mixed together, everything but the butter. So it says pour that into a prepared pan. So I've greased the pan. And then it says to sprinkle the cake mix on top. So I don't know that I've ever made a dump cake. This sounds vaguely familiar, not a pumpkin version, but I don't know that I've personally made a dump cake before. So this is all new to me. All right, this is the wet mixture. And now I'm gonna sprinkle the cake on top. I see how that works. It's gonna sink right to the bottom, right? And then the next step is to sprinkle on the pecans. It's 1 cup of chopped pecans, or you could use graham crackers, or you could leave it out completely, but I like pecans and I have pecans in the freezer. So I'm gonna sprinkle these on top. And then the last step is 2 sticks of butter melted, and then pour the butter on top evenly. I've seen some recipes where you just leave, I'm sorry. Can you hear my Roomba running? My cats just turned the Roomba on. Anyway, I've seen recipes where they just cut the butter into pats of butter, but this one specifically says melted, and I am going to follow the recipe exactly as I yell at a cat. Sage, get down. Get down. He's a kitten. Sage, get down. Get down. I'm trying the water bottle trick, but it's not quite working. I can't believe one of the cats set off the Roomba. All right, let me melt that butter and get that poured on top. All right, here we go. Pouring melted butter evenly. Not for sure how I can do this. Seems weird to me because you're not supposed to mix it at all, but we'll see how this turns out. Seems like a lot of butter. 2 sticks of butter. Don't know if I've ever put 2 sticks of butter in a cake mix. The icing for sure. Oh my God. I just don't know about this. I feel like this is gonna be a recipe fail. Right now we're supposed to stick it in the oven at 350 for 45 to 50 minutes. That's a long time. Apparently Sage likes pumpkin puree. Sage, look. What is this? Yes, this means get down. All the way. What is this? This is one of my foster kittens. I don't spray them. They're too young for that. And they don't get free rein all the time. Are you gonna get in that bowl? That might be cute. Now he's licking his paw because you have pumpkin puree on it. This is after 45 minutes, so I think it's done. Actually looks really, really good. I was worried that it'd be like white doughy still, but it looks really good. So I'm gonna let it cool down for like 10 minutes because it is bubbling hot. It's looking pretty solid. This will be interesting. It's very gooey. It's gooey. This is gooey. This is not gonna come out like. I need a spoon.
I need it.
Oh, this is not. Robert's like he's not eating it. Oh my God.
Sorry, it just doesn't look right.
Maybe
it'll cool off. It'll be better.
Maybe if it solidifies.
Yeah, maybe. Pumpkin's got a
because it's only been 10 minutes, so Robert's thinking it needs to solidify.
I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, it's.
It just looks soft. I mean, I've had dump cakes before, and they're not like that.
It is soft. It's cooked.
But it's soft. Maybe it'll harden up.
All right, we're gonna, because it's only been 10 minutes. But it said you can serve it warm. But I know, like when you make pumpkin pie, you're supposed to let it sit for 4 hours. So I'm gonna eat what I already pulled out. But then I'll come back in the morning, because I'm sorry, it's 11 o'clock at night. We'll come back in the morning to see if it firms up. And if it doesn't firm up, then I would say this is a fail. It tastes good. But it's mush, and I don't think cake is supposed to be mush.
Maybe cook it longer, huh?
It was cooked all the way, because it says it is cooked all the way. It just, you need to see if it firms up. It's the next morning, and I can tell the cake has definitely firmed up. So, but still very moist. But it is not falling apart like it did last night. So yeah, I just cut into it too warm. All right, taste test. It was really good warm last night. Let's see what it tastes like once it's cooled down. Oh my God. That's really good. If you're from St. Louis, you probably tried ooey gooey butter cake. This reminds me of ooey gooey butter cake, but pumpkin flavored. Oh, falls apart. That's really good.
It's cold. I think I liked it better warm. It says to serve it warm or room temperature. I don't know. Maybe I'll put it in the microwave for 10 seconds. I like it.